Hello, this is Charles, and we're about to start chapter 10 of Going Home. In chapter 9, Myrtle and Nathan made it to Minneapolis, stopped at the mall. Not much going on there. They met some people that saw them on the news, and they ate at the Bubba Gump shrimp place, which I might recommend. I've been there, it's quite good. But anyway, Myrtle did to Nathan the same thing my dad did to me, oh, 20 some years ago when we went there, and that was completely embarrass him with an inexhaustible knowledge of quotes from the movie Forrest Gump, which he proceeded to completely overwhelm them with at dinner. And my dad did that to me, which is why that popped up and why I put that in the story. Fictionalized, of course, with the different characters. So, anyway, what happens in chapter 10? They make it to South Dakota. So they're getting close to Mount Rushmore. And so if you want to find out what happens next, stay tuned. Chapter 10. Nathan pulled out of the mall and headed south on US 169. As they were leaving the city, Myrtle asked, "So which way are we headed? You still want to go by Mount Rushmore, right?" "Yes, I do. Your grandpa was going to take me out west before he got sick. So we can take this road for a bit to a town called Mankato. Then there are some state routes that will take us down to 90. Thought it would be a nice change to get off the interstate for a little while." "How long has it been since we had lunch?" "Oh, I'd say about 3 hours." "How far is that town you mentioned?" "Looks like between an hour, hour and a half." "Well, let's stop there for supper then, if that's not too soon. I'm in the mood for a good steak. How about you, Nate? When's the last time you had a good steak?" It's been a little while, a couple weeks at least." "So get online and see if there's any place up ahead to get a good steak." Nathan read a few reviews on his phone, and an hour and 20 minutes later, they pulled into Charlie's restaurant in Mankato. "Yeah, the online reviews for this place were good," Nathan said as they were getting out of the car. "Let's hope they're right. I haven't had a good ribeye in ages." They were seated and made their order: ribeye and baked potato for Myrtle, sirloin and fries for Nathan. "Lord knows that was the best ribeye I've had in a long time. Ask the waiter for a box and I can have the rest of it tomorrow." "Yeah, mine was pretty good too." "I can see that as fast as you went after it. You have to take your time with something that tasty." "You sound just like Grandpa." They pulled out of the parking lot and Nathan opted to take State Highway 60 down to Worthington and then I-90 west through South Dakota. His plan was to spend the night in Sioux Falls, spend the next day driving across the state, spend another night, and then have the entire following day to see Mount Rushmore. He had no idea how much walking around his grandmother would want to do, but it would be best to start in the morning and just let her go until she got too tired. If they left early enough, he could drive a little farther while she napped in the car. The drive down Highway 60 was a welcome change of pace from the interstate driving he had done so far since leaving New Jersey. Grandma was in her journal again, and Nathan was in one of his introspective moods where he went between thinking about his job and beating himself up over his romantic shortcomings. When he got in these moods, the miles rolled by and the time went by fast. He had dreaded this trip when Grandma first said she couldn't fly, but now he was enjoying it. He could almost see the allure of the road that truckers spoke of. Almost. How in the world people could do this day in and day out, he would never understand. Well, they probably couldn't understand how he could sit at a desk all day. He was in one of those moods when he rounded a bend in the road and was brought abruptly to the present by what exactly he wasn't sure. Maybe it was simply the right angle of the shaft of sunlight coming out of the high thin clouds, the way the wind was rippling the crops in the fields, or the glint of the sunlight off the water of a small lake not far north of the highway. Or maybe it was a combination of all of these factors. But it broke through his thoughts, and all he could do was just utter an audible "wow." You say something, Nate? This countryside is really pretty, it's all. I just noticed it. Doesn't look much different from where you grew up. Maybe not. I think I just get lost in my own head sometimes, and I don't notice what's around me. If I had to spend too much time in your head, I'd probably get lost too. Well, I guess it could be a scary place for an old person. Listen, young man, my head's not such an empty space either. When you get to be my age, there's so much stuff up there, it can be hard to sort through it all. You slow down because you're sorting through all the useless stuff in your head. And that's why we old folk notice things young people don't. Nathan, honey, there's beauty all over the place if you just slow down enough to notice it. Getting slow in your old age is the Lord's way of forcing us to take the time to notice what He created. Yeah, and His way of teaching young people patience, Nathan said with a slight chuckle. You watch it, kid. You're not too big for me to turn you over my knee. You'd have to catch me first. They don't call you Myrtle the turtle for nothing, remember? Careful. You get me laughing too much, we'll have to make another stop. Speaking of stopping, we have two options. We're about an hour from Sioux Falls, but it's still early. We could push on to Mitchell, stop there for the night, then get up early tomorrow and make it to the rest of the way across the state. Then we can either see Mount Rushmore tomorrow evening, or get up early the next morning and take half the day. How about we stop to pee in Sioux Falls and spend the night in Mitchell then? Fine with me, I'm just along for the ride. You know what I'm noticing? I can't remember ever seeing this many motorcycles in one day. Now that you mention it, we've been passed by I don't know how many bikes since we got on 90. That wasn't that long ago. Maybe this is a popular highway for bikers. Must be, but they're all heading west like we are. You seen any going the other way? Can't say that I have. Arriving in Sioux Falls, they stopped at the Flying J, on the lookout for anything suspicious as they pulled in. Nothing suspicious this time, however, just Harleys everywhere and burly bearded men milling. Arriving in Sioux Falls, they stopped at the Flying J, on the lookout for anything suspicious as they pulled in. Nothing suspicious this time, however, just Harleys everywhere and burly bearded men milling about. He couldn't recall ever seeing a rougher-looking assembly. He used the restroom, bought a few more drinks, and had just finished putting the drinks in the cooler when one of the bikers standing nearby addressed him. Hey, how you like that Tahoe? Been thinking of getting one. It's okay. I like the way it drives. Just a rental, though. How's it on gas? Not too good. But it's the only thing the rental place had with a hitch for the trailer. Where are you headed? Left New Jersey a few days ago, headed for San Jose. You moving out there? I live out there. My grandma's moving in with me. Grandpa died last week. You taking your grandma across the country? Wow, that's epic. You must have a lot of time to talk, the biker said, sounding to Nathan like he was getting choked up. Yeah, we talk a lot. She's always got a lot to say. Son, that's great. I would love to do that, but I lost my granny last year. Hell, I wish I had just another day to talk to her. Even 5 more minutes. A lot of things went unsaid. Don't let that happen to you. You don't want to regret. I hear you. Lost my parents when I was young. What do you mean when you were young? You're still young. Happened when I was 14. They went out to dinner and got hit by a drunk on the way home. Whoa, man, that must have been rough. It was. I got over it as well as anyone could, but it's the regrets that still bug me. I was just a teenager, and you know how teenagers are with their parents. Talk about things left unsaid. Oh, yeah, that sucks. I think I need to call my mom before we pull out. So you with all these other guys? Got a couple buddies I'm riding with. These other guys are all headed the same place, I reckon. Where's that? You don't know much about bikers, do you, son? Nah, not really. Never met any. Heading to Sturgis. Ever heard of it? I saw it on the map. Taking Grandma to Mount Rushmore before we head south for I-80. Hope you have your reservations out there. Might be hard finding a room. You take care. Yeah, you too. Myrtle came out of the restroom and said, Sure are some rough-looking fellows in there. Ah, they're just rough on the outside. I seem to remember you telling me something about books and covers. I might have said something like that once. Yeah, they're probably all softies anyway. So the guy you were talking to was a softie? He misses his grandma. So did he say why so many of them are here? He said they're all headed to Sturgis. Well, there must be something going on out there. Well, I hope you enjoyed Chapter 10. If so, please like and subscribe. If you'd like information about my other work, you can check out the links in the description below. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.